Welcome back to my channel. Just want to give you some updates as to what is happening right now with the fake state of Israel. As you can see from the title of this video, $7 billion loss. They have 40,000 people leaving the country. Israel is being hammered. Analysts, they are calling this a mass exodus and a huge brain drain for the Zionist state of Israel. We'll talk all about this in a second, but just to remind you before I move on, most of my viewers are not subscribed. If you happen to be one of them, consider subscribing. I want to actually focus on a different kind of news before I talk to you about how Israel is being hammered and the losses. I'll give you all the details, but I want to share with you something important, very, very important. Think about this. Right now, the Palestinian authorities, they are a sellout. They had been a sellout for a very long time. Right now, US, they are relying on these Palestinian authorities led by Mahmoud Abbas, the president of Palestine, that scumbag, who receives billions of dollars from US, puts all the money in his pocket, and he doesn't care anything about the people of Gaza. He doesn't care about the genocide. Yes, he talks about it, but he doesn't give a damn about it. His main concern is money flowing in from United States. So right now what is happening is that there are three groups in West Bank. I'm talking about West Bank, not Gaza. Three groups. Number one is going to be the brigade, which is called the Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigade. They operate under the umbrella of Fatah. Fatah is a political party in West Bank, and Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigade is the military wing of Fatah. And this guy, Mahmoud Abbas, is leading that group. Then you have the second group, so three groups, right? Second one is Al-Quds Brigades, and this brigade is from the Islamic Jihad. They have operation in Gaza and also in West Bank. And the third one is the Al-Qassam Brigades, and this is from Hamas. Hamas's military wing is Al-Qassam Brigades. So all of these brigades, they're working under the umbrella of now Jenin Brigades in West Bank. Therefore, the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, is feeling the pressure that perhaps his pocket money will stop coming. His authority will be challenged. He could be even overthrown, which should be done by now. What he is doing is he's begging US to supply him with more money and weapon to quash Hamas, to quash Al-Quds Brigades of Islamic Jihad, and also to quash Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigades. Even though, as I said, Al-Aqsa Martyr Brigades is from Fatah, that is being led by Mahmoud Abbas. But Al-Aqsa Martyrs Brigade, they are now actually ganging up against Mahmoud Abbas. Why? Because they see no hope being led by Mahmoud Abbas Palestinian authorities because of the genocide in Gaza. They see real hope instead in Hamas. The popularity, in other words, of Hamas has increased 100-fold since October 7 last year. You would imagine that Hamas will go away, they will disappear, but the exact opposite is happening right now in Palestine, including now in West Bank. Remember, West Bank, the people there, they opposed Hamas. They were not really fond of Hamas. When this attack took place and the genocide started, the Western countries, especially US, they believed that this is going to work against Hamas because people will be fed up with them. They will be blaming Hamas for all of these sufferings and the bombings of Israel. But people are actually now siding with Hamas and going against Mahmoud Abbas, this scumbag. Why? Because they know Mahmoud Abbas is a sellout. He cannot fix the problem. He's now waging war on Hamas and also on Al-Quds Brigades of Islamic Jihad, only to find himself in a situation where he can never ever win this war. One expert, Abu Mustafa, he said that these groups, especially Hamas, they are operating in in Gaza and also some part of West Bank. They are not very dominant in West Bank. For the last 75 years, Israel could not get rid of them. Israel could not destroy them. These resistance forces, obviously Hamas was formed later on, but for the last 75 years, Israel tried to squash these resistance forces in Palestine, could not do so. How can this scumbag Mahmoud Abbas can do anything about them? How can he win against them? Guys, this is something very, very important. Mahmoud Abbas is such a pain, is such a traitor, is such a maniac, a monster, that he is allowing this genocide to take place in Gaza. All the while he is causing up to US for more money and weapon for his party, for his military wing, to win this war against Hamas. Not to stop Israel, not to win over Israel, but to stop Hamas and also other resistance forces. We have to really hit this really hard. This point, very, very important, because when you have an enemy coming from outside, it's much easier for you to deal with than when you have an enemy from within. And Mahmoud Abbas, that scumbag, is that enemy, that hypocrite, that munafiq in Palestine. Now, let's talk about the other report that I shared with you on my title. This is what is happening. Let's take a listen. So, according to Michael Harrell, who moved to Toronto in 2019, the phone began ringing almost immediately after October 7th with other Israelis wanting advice about moving to Canada. Now, I mentioned about Canada in my last videos. This time, I'm going to be mentioning about some other countries and give you some more data. Basically, what happened is this. Every month, over 2,000 Zionists are leaving Israel, which is a huge increase from the last year, 2023. These Zionists, they have moved or transferred $7 billion worth of their deposit from Israeli banks to Western banks, including Canada and United States and Australia and other places. These people, the God-chosen people who they say, oh, God promised us this land, they are living in masses, fearing that their future is going to be destroyed if they stay in Israel. I will share with you more data in a second, but think about this. Israel is dreaming of a greater Israeli state, but they don't have people. They are now saying we will multiple or double the growth of population in Golan Heights to occupy that land. When they have no people, literally they are emptying. 1 million people left Israel. When they have no people in Israel, they are now dreaming of what? Expanding their territories to fill it with what? Grass and animals and cattle? Exactly, that's what the maniacs, they are planning. Take a look at this particular report here. With thousands Israelis leaving the country after October 7th resistance operation last year, it is possible that 2024 ends with more Israelis leaving the country than coming in. The UK's independent newspaper has reported in 2025 the number will grow even more. More Israelis will more likely to leave the country. The paper cites Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics estimation that in September, a total of over 40,000 Israelis departed long term. Over the first 7 months of 24, a 59% increase over the same period a year earlier when 25,000 people left. So 25,500 to 40,600. How many more? Like 15,000 almost, right? So they are leaving. This is a mass exodus. According to CBS, monthly 2,200 more people departed this year in 23. The report continued. It also cited Sergio Della Pergola, a statistician, I don't know how to say it, and a professor emeritus of Hebrew University in Jerusalem, as saying that according to migration experts, it was possible that people leaving Israel would surpass the number of immigrants coming to the country in 2024, stalling their return. Gil Fire, deputy director of Tel Aviv Sorovsky Medical Center, told the paper that some of its top specialists with fellowship postings in other countries for a few years have begun to stall their return to Israel. Before the war, they always came back, and it was not really considered an option to stay. And during the war, we started to see a change, Fire reportedly said. They are also losing a lot of people who with high skill and high talent. He added, they said to us, we will stay another year, maybe 2 years, maybe more. Who are these people? The people who left Israel, saying, we do not know. We want to stay more and more. The report said that the events of October 7 have shattered any sense of safety, quote unquote. According to Michael Harrell, who moved to Toronto in 2019, the phone began ringing almost immediately after October 7th, with other Israelis wanting advice about moving to Canada. Now, brain drain. Last October, the Israeli newspaper Maariv reported that the first 7 months of the year witnessed the immigration of 40,000 Israelis, equivalent to 3 times the immigration rates before the war. Basically means after the October 7, people are leaving even more. The Israelis flee abroad in the first 7 months of the year. Their number reached 40,000 plus. In addition, each month this year, there were an average of 2,200 more compared to the average of 23, the report said. Moreover, nearly 1 million Israelis have obtained foreign passports in recent years as an insurance policy in the event of a comprehensive war. The report added, noting that the magic of the Israel has expired in the eyes of some of the elites of the West. Guys, what is happening with this Zionist state? And these data, these numbers, these reports are coming from Jerusalem Post at the same time. In addition to other sources that I have cited, it is also coming from Israeli media newslet itself. Regarding financial transfers abroad, the newspaper reported that Israelis transferred $7 billion abroad in deposits during the first 7 months. The newspaper also described this as a brain drain, as the immigrants included doctors, scientists, pharmacists, and high-tech experts who left after being presented with attractive offers to work for foreign companies. I actually had one girl, or I should call her lady, who used to work with me in accounting. I was working with accounting, and she is a Jew. She's from Israel. What I found about her was that she was very unfriendly with me. For whatever reason, she didn't like me. Obviously, she knew that I'm not a Jew. She used to behave with me in a very hostile way. I mean, she would never smile. She would be like this. And these people, wherever they go, they take their emotional baggage with them, which is not good. Among long-term immigrants aged 20-90, approximately 54% have an education of 13 years or more, compared to 44% who have a similar education among the entire Israeli population, according to Maariv. So again, these are coming from Maariv, and that is Israeli newspaper. They are reporting on this, and therefore it is not something we need a lot of convincing for us to believe these stories. And guys, because of this, Israel is so terrified of what is happening in Syria, because Syria, if they get what they want, which is freedom and prosperity and strength and good economy, then Israel is going to be doomed even more. Take a look. As Syrians celebrate Assad's fall, Israel swiftly acted to undermine democratic transition, fearing that it could result in greater pro-Israeli solidarity. So basically what happened when the Assad regime fell, people came out on the street, but in absolutely no time, Israel started striking Syrian military target to disarm the country completely. What we want to understand here is this: when Arab nation, they get rid of their dictators, the tyrants, Israel, in order to stop that kind of celebration, because they cannot, they're jealous, they're very, very egoistic, they don't like the Arabs to be happy, they start bombing that country immediately. It happened with even with, I believe, Libya, when Gaddafi fell, and Israel, they strike these countries without any restrictions. Obviously, US completely 100% allows those kind of strikes to take place. Now Israel is dealing with someone who they cannot take for granted, and that is this guy, Erdogan. He said that it is time for Turkey to get rid of or eradicate ISIS and Kurdish fighters in Syria. Kurdish forces are being heavily financially helped by Israel. Kurdish forces are directly involved in intelligence collection for Israel. And Kurdish forces are the only hope for both US and Israel to have any foothold in Syria. Therefore, Turkish President Erdogan, he knows it, he realized it, and he said that yes, Kurdish forces, they're not just threat to my country, but they're threat to Syria, and they're going to undermine my effort in the long run. So Turkish President Erdogan said Friday it was time to destroy terrorist groups that posed a threat to Syria's survival, namely ISIS and Kurdish fighters. Shame on this group who is supporting Zionists who are committing genocide. Shame on this group. This is what Erdogan said. Daesh, the PKK, and their affiliates, which threaten the survival of Syria, must be eradicated, he told journalists while returning from a Cairo summit using an Arabic acronym for ISIS. Okay, so he used the word Daesh. Now, when we talk about these groups, Daesh and ISIS and Kurdish, these terrorist organizations, we know, and a lot of you have said this, that these groups are being supported by Israel itself. Al-Qaeda, ISIS, all of these terrorist organizations are a creation of Israel itself. Why? Why I'm saying this? Take a look at this one coming on the news. Israel financially backed Turkish rebels, Turkey official says, means they have received, this terrorist organization, this terrorist group, they have received millions of dollars from Israel. Israel has been investing in the Kurdistan Workers' Party PKK and counting on it to serve its interest in the region. Spokesman for Turkey's ruling Justice and Development Party Omar Salik said on Tuesday. Remarking on the overthrow of the Syrian regime by opposition factions, Salik said from now on, Hayat Tahrir Sham Jabhat al-Nusra is no longer a terrorist organization de facto and will be removed from the list of terrorist organizations. It already happened. HTS is no longer, even though the US did not make any official comment about this, but we know because they removed the bounty on Ahmed Ashar, $10 million to capture him. That bounty is being removed. He's now being treated by US as just a human being in Syria and the leader of the Syrian government. The European Union has actually opened a dialogue with the group's leader Joulani. Britain wants, as does France, China, and the United States. So all of these countries are now coming to Joulani saying, okay, you're not a terrorist anymore because you now have upper hand in Syria, and we know you are being supported by Turkey, so we can no longer call you a terrorist, because if we do, then we have to disengage from your country and yourself from any communication, any dialogue. Therefore, we will not be able to find anything from Syria, all the intelligence that we used to share or collect, all the mission that we used to conduct, including plundering your natural resources, taking your oil. So you know what, forget about past whatever we have done. You are not a terrorist anymore. This is how they flip-flop all the time. This is what the Western countries do. Now, because of this Turkish incursion, and most likely they already have started attacking Kurdish forces in Syria, US is not liking it at all. Now they're thinking of sanctioning Turkey. This is the level of hypocrisy they have, obviously. Calls mount for US to sanction Turkey over possible invasion of Kurdish Syria. When US go to Afghanistan and Iraq and everywhere on earth to find those Al-Qaeda or ISIS whom they have created themselves, and they invade or violate airspace of other countries. There is no problem with that. But when Turkey does it, or any country for that matter, Russia does it, oh my God, we have to sanction them. Senior US politicians are worried that a Turkish invasion of Syria's northeast region is imminent and are indicating they are prepared to impose sanctions on Washington's NATO ally. I mean, this is why the US dollar hegemony should be gone. Otherwise, this hypocrisy of US that they are the only country and Israel is the only country who have the right to defend itself, this kind of false narrative, this kind of monopoly over geopolitics will only gain momentum as long as they have the power to sanction other countries. And they are doing this. Now they're doing it with Turkey, and Erdogan is not going to back down. I don't believe Erdogan will care about the US sanction, just like he did not care when they sanctioned him for a priest who was imprisoned in Turkey. Trump and his guy Mike Pence, they came out and they make big statement. We have sanctioned Turkey for not releasing the priest, and that happened. But Erdogan was like, no, I don't care. Right now, Erdogan is more focused of building Syria. He said that Turkey will help Syria restructure and help them to draft a constitution. We talk about Syria, now we talk about Erdogan, because Erdogan is running Syria at the moment as we speak. And so for the Zionist, game over. It is no longer going to be the same as it used to be. Right now we have seen Syrian people, they are now uniting and they're chasing those Israeli troops, those terrorist forces in Syria away. They are coming out from their homes, protesting and chasing and throwing stones at them, telling them, get out of our country, this is Syria. Guess what? The next thing you will know is Turkey is going to arm them. If they don't obey, if they don't listen to these residents, these people, the citizens of Syria, Turkey will arm them. Make no mistake about this, because Turkey right now is running Syria. And when Erdogan runs a country, you don't dare to interfere. Some comments here. Thank you so much for your comments. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a wonderful day.